It's all about, it's all about, it's all about beauty. It's all about passion. It's all about change. It's all inclusive every day of the week. When the world comes together, united as one, sharing stories through the eyes of InView TV. Through the eyes of, through the eyes of, through the eyes of InView TV.
Hello and welcome to the Lifestyles with Tais show. I'm Tais Froggatt, I'm your host. I'm an avid foodie, an adventurer, a yogi and a presenter, and I'm chatting to interesting people. I believe no matter how small, positive human encounters can be very refreshing. It can open your mind and have a snowball effect. You might recognize our guest today from the TV show The Bachelor. She has also been seen on Clio, Triple J, Sunrise, ABC, and The Morning Show. Samantha Jayne is an expert in Australian dating and I guess across the world. She has revitalized the way singles might see dating and relationships, and she's an expert in this field. She's originally a scientist and now more than ever is passionate about bringing love into people's lives, getting them out of their heads and into their hearts. She is also a qualified coach and relationship expert with the knowledge of behavioural expertise. Welcome, Samantha.
Putting on more staff despite the downturn. Let's get more on this with director Samantha Jayne with me in the studio. Nice to have you with us, Samantha. What is fueling the rise? We kind of hear that people are watching their back pockets. Cost-wise, how do you get into this? What do you have to pay?
You're going straight to the money. Well, basically,
Show me the money.
Show you the money.
Yeah.
Well, what's basically fueling people is that they're just reassessing their values. It's more about, you know, they're fundamentally what's important to life, what's important in life. So that is our main growth factor.
You're also basing, or boasting at least, a 92% marriage success rate. Now, marriage is all well and good, but what about the divorce rate after that? Do you, when does your commitment end to these couples, or your interest? Is it so long as their membership runs?
Well, we have an ongoing interest, so we always like to touch base and see how things are progressing.
Hello there and welcome to the program, and I'm joined today by Samantha Jayne, the CEO of Blue Label Life, a matchmaking service for busy professionals. And Samantha's here to give us her first date tips. Now, a lot of your clients have gone on a lot of first dates. What advice do you give them?
Well, they certainly have. The biggest tip for being on a first date is to relax.
Yes.
Now, I know that is one of the hardest things to do, but the way you relax is planning and having an end goal. And that end goal should be to have fun.
A lot of women in those situations because nobody teaches you how to love. Nobody teaches you how to interact with men, how to attract men. Nobody teaches you how to make a man commit.
That brought back some memories.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for joining us, Sam. That's great. Trip down memory lane for you, was it?
Absolutely. Thanks, Tais. Look, and also I just need to highlight that I'm no longer the director of Blue Label Life, that I've now transitioned into something very new. Well, I've been doing this for a long time, but yeah. The love expert, Samantha Jayne. Yeah.
More or less the same concept, right?
Definitely the same concept. I've just refreshed my approach and, you know, accommodated more to the modern times.
Sure. And I guess how you evolved and how your business grew, then you grew with it. So naturally, Yeah, that's interesting. So, what's the biggest problems these days do you think women and men face in the dating world?
Well, there's an abundance, like there's pros and cons, but right now there's an abundance of choice. It's like, all right, so do I do Tinder? Do I do RSVP? Do I do Bumble? Like, what do I do? Do I do Hinge? And then who do I respond to? And what do I say? And how do I connect? So really what's happening right now is people are just overwhelmed with the choices and they don't know how to connect with the person. They don't know who to meet and just treating it as a numbers game. Whereas I give them a full strategy to help them find someone who has aligned values and actually wants the same things. And that makes all the difference.
Okay, and what kind of yeah, hello. What kind of tools to yeah, cut out or filter that as you were saying?
So what was the question? I couldn't quite hear the first part.
Yeah, sorry, there's a bit of an echo, but bear with me. You mentioned cutting out filtering to get to exactly more of what you want. So I was going to ask, what kind of tools are you recommending to filter out, I guess, the rubbish to get to the good stuff?
You're so harsh, the rubbish. No, so what I do is, fair enough though, it's all about getting it right. Everyone's like really time poor and it's really important that everyone that you meet face to face, that you're going to potentially have something with them. So what I use is something called behavioral profiling. I've developed my own system where I show you how to identify the 4 types of men, the 4 types of women, and then based on somebody's personality profile, then you can determine the outcome of the relationship and what you're specifically looking for. So some people love to chase, some people love to sort of be really flirtatious, some people are more serious. So based on the type of relationship that you want, then you pick somebody who's going to actually give you that, and then I show you how to actually connect with them.
Wow, okay. And you mentioned Fort on your profile on your website, and obviously the husband project, which is what you're conceptually working on at the moment.
Yeah.
You mentioned 4 types of men. Now, what would you say is the best combo?
Good question. That's what I get asked all the time. Okay, so look, if you're wanting, I mean, I do specialize in finding husbands. So if you're wanting somebody with that long-term family value type of man, I would definitely opt for the alpha. He has that strength, he has that masculinity, he's a great provider, he loves a challenge, mixed with the guy next door. And the guy next door, he loves that sense of, I have a visitor here, isn't he lovely?
Hello.
Little man.
Yeah.
Hello. So the guy next door is somebody who is very family oriented. He likes to settle down, he wants to have a family, he wants to get married, he wants to be in it for the long term. He's not the type of man that would chase and meet lots of women. He's a one woman type of man.
Okay, so the alpha and the guy next door is what you suggest is perfect. But each one of us, or each one of these women or men, are going to be different. So I guess
absolutely. And but the thing is, like, a lot of women come to me when they've actually met men who are they initially they're visitor is staying. He's here to stay. I have a special guest with it. So most women tend to go for the alpha charmers. And he's the guy that is very James Bond. He has a fast car. He's at the top of his game. He knows what to say. He feels so good to speak to. And he chases you. So we love being chased. But when he's got you, that's when he starts to get a little bored because the challenge is over and he's sort of looking out for the next best thing. But if you really want a man like that because you just are driven by that, then it's important to keep him on his toes. So every different man has a different strategy versus the alpha intellect. Some women love the alpha intellect, and he is a really deep thinker. He's going to have a lot of his own time. He's going to need a lot of his own man cave time, space. So it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I hear you talking about your current project, which is the husband project, ladies. However, from talking to you earlier, you also mentioned that you speak to a lot of these guys yourself. So it's kind of like a matchmaking service as well. But you're also matchmaking the guys. So it's not just for the ladies. It sounds like it's to help busy professional men also that may not have time to go on multiple dates. They kind of just want to, I guess, work with you closely to find closer to what they want, I guess.
Absolutely. If they're wanting confidentiality, if they're very specific about what they're looking for, if they have a timeline, if they just don't have the energy to be scrolling online and they want someone to do all the groundwork for them, I have an abundance of women in my husband project, and a lot of those women are wanting to meet someone amazing. So it's a real win-win for both parties.
For both. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Tell me, why are you so passionate about this?
Who doesn't love to be in love? I mean, it's our main driver. Ever since I was little, even when I was a scientist, I was fascinated. I read every book under the sun. I've even met in New York with anthropologist Dr. Helen Fisher to understand the different types of men and women, and I just love seeing. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing somebody come to me so helpless and not sure where to go, and then a few weeks later they're really happy. And I love seeing the photos of holidays and families and happening and weddings and marriages. I mean, who wouldn't want a job like that? Who wouldn't want to be helping see these massive transformations? Even people who have experienced those narcissists, they come to me so afraid of dating, and I've been there too, and I just help them overcome that, just see them grow. It's amazing.
And you've been doing this some time now.
Yeah. Since 2005, I've been the go-to, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Excellent. Well, you also speak about identifying if he wants to commit or it's just the chase. What do you mean by that?
Well, okay. So if you're really genuinely wanting to meet someone to have a long-term relationship with, and you're dating a guy who's a player, who just wants to sort of treat it as a numbers game, then it's important to be able to identify what his motives are, because then you'll know whether you're wasting time or, I mean, you still can get that man to commit, but it will be a lifelong battle and there's no guarantees. So you are better off with somebody who is, if that's what you want, that family life, great. Go for somebody who's going to give you that. It's like having, you know, the perfect recipe for that cake that you want, that delicious sugar-free cake that doesn't taste sugar-free, versus, you know, trying to, you know, use a piece of steak to make a great cake. It's just possibly going to happen, but it's not very good. So, yeah.
Amazing. And it's also wonderful how you teach people to avoid relationship mistakes, and you give them more choices with these amazing options when they go with I guess, the husband project. And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, the husband project isn't for the faint-hearted. I'm a real straight shooter, and if you come to me with real, like, genuine results, then I'm like, all right, this is the absolute strategy. So I have a system that I follow, and the first of all, what we do is we help you feel really confident within yourself and also within your choices, knowing that you're making the right choices with men. We rewrite your story. So we rewrite any sort of, if you tend to be attracting the wrong man, it's like, let's look at why and let's rebuild your love strategy. And then from that, I help you identify the right man, and I work on giving you an abundance of choice. So we don't ever put your eggs in one basket. We have a few men that you're speaking to, obviously not being in a relationship with all of them. You're just speaking to them. You're doing your research. And then when you feel it's safe that he actually is going to offer what you want and give you those aligned values, and I'm like, go for it. And then we work on building that connection, and then ultimately the commitment comes. He's the one that actually pushes for it. There's no ultimatums. There's no like, where's this going? The person, you know, when a woman asks, where's this going? Do you want something serious? It just feels awful and it gives away power. So you want to be in a position where you can inspire him to be the one going, wow, she's amazing. I have an incredible connection with her. I want to keep her. So then he's the one that says to you, so where's this going? Do you want something serious? And you're like, yes.
Oh, definitely. Interesting. And I absolutely loved your analogy. If you're an independent woman who goes and gets what she wants, then why wouldn't you go and get the man that you want? So waiting around for that
Totally.
man is like basically putting yourself last. These are your words.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like
true.
eating the leftovers at a restaurant versus
Yeah.
ordering the meal you really want. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. And it's true though. It's exactly like, what are you going to do? Wait around and see who contacts me? I want that. I'm going to go and get it and I'm going to make it happen. And that's who the Husband Project is for, is women who just go, I know what I want and I'm proud to say it. I'm going to go get it.
And I have one last question for you. So, with the clients that you've had, and they possibly, perhaps, no likely become your friend, have you ended up going to a couple of their weddings, or had
Yes.
nothing more than a lot of thanks for those success stories?
I used to, I did take some time off to sort of look after the children. But before that, yeah, when I'm going full speed ahead in summer, spring, it's practically a wedding every weekend. It's intense. There's a lot going on. I love getting the stories. So normally it happens pretty quickly too.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, this has been really interesting talking to you, Samantha. Thank you so much for joining us today, and you've been a real treat.
Thanks for having us, your unexpected guest.
More the merrier, I say, more the merrier. So keep up the great work and keep helping Aussie singles finding love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the tips and so much we can take away, manifest, and potentially use on any of those next dates that you may develop using Samantha's tools. Or yeah, she's been some great advice there for any of you single ladies or guys. So she works on both men and women. Thank you, Samantha. Goodbye. And yeah, I look forward to maybe catching up with her and seeing if she ends up back on The Bachelor or something. So thank you so much for InView TV, Bruce Mott for producing today's episode. My name is Tais Froggatt. We'll see you next time on Lifestyles with Tais.
It's all about